Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another high-powered episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder, with Nat King Code coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. I am joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. King James Stallcup, over there in Big Sky Country, Texas, repping the old Stallcup electrical education. Really appreciate you putting these together, brother, and it means a lot. First, I want to give our well wishes out to the Candel's Mark. He's in the middle of a hurricane right now, and they said there's like 9 to 20 foot of water coming in. So, you know, we got our prayers out for him that he stays dry. And he said, I just saw a post that he said it was rocking and rolling out there when the last post I saw. So prayers to you, brother. And well, we're gonna have him on the show, and he wanted to go live with us from his outdoor, I guess he has like an outdoor little setup, and he wanted to start doing a lot of podcasting out there. He wanted to have us on his podcast, and so I told, you know, it might be a little beat up on the next podcast, but you know, like I say, just our prayers go out to you, Mark, and hope you stay safe and everything, and stay dry. So I really appreciate all the participation this week. It was so awesome, dude. I hit 40,000 in like 12 hours. Like, it was crazy, man. I had like so much attention on my last post, and it's a lot of fun. I really apologize to everyone out there. I'm in Facebook jail now, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to still keep doing my posts. I'm going to try to figure out some other way to post them every week, but we'll see how I could figure that out. But just letting everybody know, giving you a heads up. I'll try to keep, like, I might be able to post them in a Stallcup. I might be able to send them to you, and you can post them to your page or something. We'll figure something out. We'll get them out there. You know, we'll keep them rolling.
Oh yeah, we'll get them out one way or another. I mean, we always do. I mean, we'll figure out a way. You know, I mean, I've got all kinds of media accounts and everything that are set up. I'll go to different ones and just, you know, we'll figure a way out. May have to get permission to do this and that, but we'll figure it out. I was going to tell everybody, I like to listen to other stuff. You know, I came across this one podcast I think everybody will find interesting. It's NNN. Okay, that's all you got to put in. As a matter of fact, I'll post the link in here in a minute. But it's Eddie Griffin. He's the comedian, and he goes over and he does news. It's his network news, and he goes through, and I mean, he talks about it all. Maybe I'm telling you, and of course he does it in a comedic form, you know, and and I mean, he of course, true to Eddie, he's cussing on there and everything, but it is funny as hell. I was actually letting Dad watch it, and he was like, he goes, I've seen this guy before. I said, yeah. I was telling him the show's there. He goes, oh man, he goes, this is funny as hell. I said, yeah. And so I encourage everybody. I posted the link for y'all to go over and watch it. I think you'll enjoy watching it. So anyway.
Nice. Yeah, the one I like is Awaken with JP. That's the one that cracks me up. JP's pretty funny.
Well, I'll say one thing about Eddie Griffin. That podcast is very, very high quality. I mean, when you see it, I mean, it is high quality. He's got music in the background as he's doing. I mean, he's got a staff working on that. I'm telling you, because it is like major high quality. And as I was watching it and everything, I was like, man, that would be freaking awesome to have that on our podcast. But it's one of those that you'd have to be in studio and shooting it. They cut it. You know, it wouldn't be something that you're doing live, you know. And I was sort of looking, I was thinking, man, that'd probably be pretty cool to tie some of that in and have it set up, you know, like when I'm teaching or something like that. I might look into that eventually in a couple of years, 2 years, after I get all this other stuff done. But it very high quality. I was very impressed with it.
Nice.
So
yeah, I like Awaken with JP, but I might have ran this meme before, But it was just so funny. Like, if I did run it before, I apologize, but it was just so funny. I had to run it again. I might have missed it.
No, you ran one that was similar. It didn't say exactly what this said because I looked.
Okay.
It was something we did. Matter of fact, we've done 2 other memes like this, but they had different, things he was thinking about. Okay. So, cool. All right, I'll run it here.
Dude, that is so true though, because
it is.
there is certain companies like, and I don't know why they decide to do them different. What I do is I go with the direction the device is installed. So if it's installed vertical, I go vertical. If it's installed horizontal, I go horizontal. But like the reason that we do that, and I've always asked that when I was an apprentice, like, why do we do that? It's so that if we get a warranty call and we come back and our screws are out of alignment, then we know somebody's been taking stuff apart. And
that's right.
Oh, it's just a little trade secret, so that if you don't put the screws back straight, then we know you've been in there doing something and might not be covered by warranty anymore.
That's right. That is one of the reasons they started doing it. It's not something that's in the code. I actually had people before argue, that's in the code. I said, where? I'd never seen it. And I said, let me tell you why they did. And that's what I used to tell them. That was the reason.
Right. So, but awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate all the participation I had on Myth of the Week. Like I say, I even posted less groups this week, and I still got more. I mean, I hit over 100 reactions on Wall of Shame. That was just amazing. And like I say, the picture, when I saw it, when I was doing research, trying to find something showing that Lockrings on there, I was just blown away. I was like, man, there's no way this is installed outdoors.
Yeah.
But, who we got here?
DJ. He's got his DJ. Jaws music on.
DJ's in the house.
Okay, enough of that crap.
That's funny. Yeah, he's lurking, man. It's gonna be an easy Willie Quiz this week. You guys should get them all right. And so, like I say, I've been trying to get a little bit harder here and there, but I tried to stay on kind of a topic maybe Adam would know. Adam will be here, so.
Awesome.
I got my pickle shot for Adam, but I guess we're gonna run the Myth of the Week.
Yep.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right, awesome. So I just thought about this. We were sitting there. I was talking to a guy, and we were putting some NPT fittings on. And I was like, "You like to leave your Lockrings on or not?" And he looked at me like crazy, like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, "No, man, you don't leave the Lockrings on." And I was like, "Oh, some guys like to do it. I've actually heard foremen say, nah, leave the Lockrings on. I'd like to, keep get it wrenched tight with the Lockrings." And I don't really think there's anything saying you can't do it, but like there's a lot of listing things that kind of come into this. So what you have in the picture right there is you have a cast iron conduit body, and it has EMT connectors going into it. Those connectors are only listed, well, for one, dry location. This is actually a wet location, but they're also only listed to be used with a lock ring into an enclosure. They're not listed to be threaded into anything. So those that conduit body there has NPT threads, and then the connectors in there are square threads. So that's actually a listing violation. The one right above it was hilarious. Like, it looks like they just stuffed a piece of 1/2 inch flex right into a 3/4 coupling.
Yep.
And it looked like they did the same thing up top. Took a 3/4 flex, or maybe 1 inch. I don't know. Couldn't really tell the sizes, but it looks like they did some hokey stuff up above. And then the funny thing was, you'll see later when we do our wall of shame pick, the actual hole pick. I was blown away. But yeah, like, to me personally, I could see some cases where you might want to, like, use a lock ring. Like, say if you have like a rigid and you have those rated lock rings to actually cinch it tight, you know, to keep your conduit body from rotating or anything like that. So there's probably some uses that you could probably use it, but overall, in general, it's actually going to be a listing violation. And then a lot of times too, you got to watch out if you have the weather rated. We actually had the NPT style threads, the NPT threaded style, and they they wouldn't work with the lock ring on there. It would just, the lock ring would smash up the gasket and everything, so you just couldn't use them with the lock ring. But you know, some guys like to do it, so I kind of looked into it to see, and I really couldn't find anything that really said that you couldn't use a lock ring on like an NPT style with the correct threads. A lot of people were saying that this, you know, there's no EMT connector that works, but there is now. They are coming out where MPT threads for EMT. And so I don't know if you did any research on it.
I did do some research, you know me, and I really couldn't find anything on it. You know, I'd get into talking about the threads and where it'd be a listing violation there. You know, when you had called me and you were telling me about this, I said, this is actually a thing? And I said, let's think of it this way. You had an LB there, and if I took a piece of rigid and threads, everything match up, and I put that on there, threaded in there, do I need a lock ring? No. You don't need one. So if this, you know, I use reasoning of deduction here. If I had an EMT connector, the threads match up, and I thread it in there, why would I need a lock ring when I don't need one for, you know, piece of rigid, or even if it was IMC? Either one, you know, if the threads match, the taper's right and everything, you're just threading into it. And if they say, well, it could come loose, whatever, well, that's why you strap on both sides of it. You know?
Yeah, the funny part is that they use the lock ring and then they got the connector all, it's not even lined up, you know? Because that would be the only other reason I could see using a lock ring, was so you could kind of use it as like a jam nut and get that connector to where the screw's straight, but it's not even straight in that picture. Yeah. Dude, there was not many things right with this picture, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just have never heard that to be a problem. And I mean, if I was out on the job and I saw that I had an LB there, and I'm taking, and I've got, you know, the taper threads match and everything, and if I had a set screw coupling put in there, I wouldn't have. Let me ask this question: what if I put a compression type?
So,
okay, it's the same. It's the same connectors. Just one is a set screw and one's compression. Do I still need a ring on it? I mean, I understand the arguments that people are trying to make, but that would definitely be flushed up against it. I wouldn't require a lock ring for that. I mean, as an instance, I would not.
I almost think the lockering would kind of be a bad thing if you were using the compression style, because they now have that gasket on them
Yeah.
that goes in. So I don't know that I'd really want to risk like tearing up that gasket with the lockering on the other side of it, or vice versa if you had the gasket on the other side. Like, I just don't see it. I don't understand why people do this. That was the whole reason I wanted to run this myth, was because some guys think, oh well, it's part of the listed assembly. No, it's not.
No, it isn't.
And then on top of that, you're using it in a way that it's not listed the way you're using it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of one thing I'm a little bit of a nerd on when it comes to like trying to get like the right parts and use them the right way and everything like that. So that was the whole reason I wanted to run this, and I thought when you saw this picture you're gonna have a good chuckle. And
Oh yeah,
I don't think you'd be passing that over there in Grapevine.
no, I can already tell you I wouldn't have passed this. But just from an inspector viewpoint, because I was an inspector, also as a co-instructor, as an author, I would look at this and I would say, no, lock rings are not required. I just, if your taper threads and everything match up, you're good to go. So that would be my take on it. And I just don't believe the lock rings are required. I just don't.
I agree. So all these people that told me you have to put the lock rings on, you're busted. Myth busted.
Yeah, and I would like them to show me in the code where it says that, or in the manufacturer's instructions, because I looked, I couldn't find it. And that's why I say you don't need it. It's just for that reason only. Okay?
Well, and that's kind of what our point when we're getting into is that you're going to that listing and labeling of the product, on how you use it, Do the instructions tell you use a lock ring with, you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. I would question if those guys even like knew what they were doing if I started seeing that kind of an install and I was inspector. Be like, I don't know, man. You guys might need to go take some classes or something. That one was pretty bad.
Oh, and I'd like to point one other thing out here. We get a ton of views. I mean, it's just constantly over on the YouTube site. And one of the things that I've done here is I've got the overlay here, and I'll just sort of hit it right here. Subscribe, like, and share. Because we have like 318 subscribers, but we're getting in a week, 2 weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views. At least subscribe, because it helps the algorithm and all of that. And sharing it really helps. Sharing it to people, that's a big one. I just learned that. So, if everybody do that, we appreciate it.
Yeah, and big shout out to all you out there checking us out every week. It's pretty awesome. It means a lot. We've had like 3 live shout outs to journeymen that just got their license on here. So, that's pretty
that's
awesome.
Another thing for apprentices, y'all getting ready to take your test, go on over to the YouTube channel, go over to the topic of the week, and you'll see where we did doing the formulas, applying Ohm's law and pi formulas, then designing all your wiring methods, calculations for everything. Then we go into calculating all your conductor ampacities, and then we do size and overcurrent protection devices. Then we also did residential and commercial, so you're getting ready as a master and you're getting into those more complex calculations. We covered all of that for about 16, 18 weeks or something to start the
16
year.
or 17.
Yeah. So if you'll go in there and just go to the start of this year, 2024, and start, I think you can go in and click and hit the date, and it'll line them up by date. You just start the 1st of January and go through, you'll have all of that there. You can actually help you prep for your test. Now, we didn't do like, 750 questions and all of that. All we did were all the calculations for the journeyman and people prepping for the masters. So by the time you go through it all, you're going to go through about 300 calculations. So that is a lot.
And don't feel like you have to act like. Don't worry about the stupid questions. I already asked them in the live show, so I make sure all the stupid questions are out there. So you guys don't have to worry about that. I'll get them out of your way for you. But
we did a lot on it.
I try to ask at least some questions to kind of clear up some of the sections. Like I try to keep them like relevant for what's going on.
And that's what's so great about it. There was a lot of time and effort that was put into that, with all the illustrations and everything for you to go through. What's your guys' opinion on holding a master license? Is it worth it? Well, if you're a contractor,
yeah, it's not really worth it for me. But so the guys that I work with now, they actually sub out their master's license, and I never really thought it was a real good thing until I started seeing in solar, because they could spread out and do a lot more projects if they're using somebody's masters. So they'll usually pay you more to use your master's license. To me, I'm just always been worried about doing that. I just don't want to get stuck. It ended up having to come fix some project or something because they use my master's license. But I don't know that ever even happened before. But it just, that's in the back of my head. But if you're going to start a business, I say absolutely, because especially DJ, you're in the state of Colorado, they automatically give you your contractor's license. So when you get a master electrician license, you automatically have that contractor license. So that's just one extra step you don't have to do, which I think works good in Colorado, especially for starting a business. But for me, I just never really thought it was going to be that big of a deal. And I probably should go just get my master's, but it's I've just never had a problem making good money as a journeyman,
Sure. And I mean, I was a master at 22. I didn't use it, Frank, but you take my brother Frank, he's a contractor. That master is great for him. He has to have that master. Me, I don't even have to have one. So hell, what I do now, I don't even have to have a journeyman license. Yeah. I don't need any of that. But I was a master at 22 years old. I was a journeyman at 20. So,
nice.
And even when I was a journeyman at 20, I was still making apprentice wages because I was going through the apprenticeship. And so the last 2 years I was in apprenticeship, I was actually studying for my master's and passed it right when I got out of school. But, I was making journeyman scale, which was great, but I didn't make any more because I was a master, unless I was a contractor. So
the way there, I don't know if there's some kind of, I don't know exactly what all the requirements are, Daniel. I know that they were talking back a million years ago when I started. I actually started in the trade when I was 22, and then I got my journeyman's license when I think I was about 25, somewhere in there, 24, 25. And I guess there's some new thing I've heard where they ask you when you go to take your test if you want to take a master or a journeyman. They let you take either or. And then I think one of the guys was telling me that Colorado has a new 6-year apprentice test too. So they've been having Dora go around and check, and now what they have is they're trying to crack down on these lifetime apprentices.
Mm-hmm.
And so they say you at least have to attempt a test after 6 years. And as long as you attempt that test, then I guess you're good for another 6 years. But to me, I don't see why.
The best way to stop that, honestly, is you can only be an apprentice for, say, after you've done 4 years, say another 5 years. And the state has a law that's put in place that cracks down. You can only make so much top scale as an apprentice. That would make people change their mind and actually try to pass a test.
True. Yeah, but so I guess I don't know exactly if it was because this guy had some kind of college degree or something, why they gave him like the opportunity to test for his journeyman or his master, and then I guess he tested for his master and he got it. You know.
Could be.
But he was running around as like a bless you. He was running around as like a service tech with a master's license.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in that case, I don't really see the value of it. But if you're thinking on, like, one good thing is, you know, you could start DJ's service change business and do one service change a month. As a master, you can just pull the permit and knock it out in $2,000 a day, you know. So you're looking at $2,000 on a Saturday with your own business.
Sure.
That's not bad. You know,
Not
that's
bad at all.
worth it. So,
all right. Any
no,
other
great question,
questions?
Daniel. Thank you.
Any others? Pop them out. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing about this podcast. You want to ask questions, feel free. We'll answer any questions. If it's code question, whatever, you know. I get calls all the time on 70E, 70B, NEC. I mean, just fire away. There's not very few questions I haven't heard. I mean, you know, I've only been doing it for 40 years. So, you know, and, you know, one of the things I'll tell you where I really learned a lot was teaching for NFPA, because you have such a diverse background of people that come in, and they've all got different type of questions they were needing answers to. So, you know, when I first started teaching 70E for them, you know, because I was on the 70E committee, and we were starting where we were talking about arc flashes, arc blasts, and all that stuff. That was all brand new. They were coming in with all kinds of questions, and they'd have me do probably 4 or 5 of them a year. You know, every 3 months I was off at a new location doing one, and that, you know, and a lot of times I was just doing 70E. And then they got to the point where they had their testing and stuff that ended up being a 3-day. And usually I'd go to a location and I was there for 6 days. And on Wednesday, they're testing in the morning, so it was like half a day. And it was like a 4-hour test. And then on Saturday, it was a 4-hour test. And then I was packing up going home. But, you know, I did that for NFPA there probably about, at least 10, 15 years, or at least 10 that I know that I was doing. And then I ended up having companies that had me come in individually because they wanted me to also teach their standard and tie it in with the 70E, because they had, you know, they exceeded what was there. And then I would explain, looking at their standard, why they did what they did. And I was doing a lot of instruction based on that. So, you know, lots of experience. So.
Right. Yeah. And I get a lot of questions too from people asking me about certain things. And so I appreciate it. And like I say, I was blown away that one podcast when somebody called up. I guess the inspector said they couldn't have all that group of disconnects. They couldn't have that many group of disconnects. And you're like, move it over 2 feet. It's a different group. And
yeah,
it just blew me away, because like you just solved this problem so fast. And a lot of times these guys, they're just listening to the inspector. A lot of times the inspector's not really understanding the code that, you know, it's only for that group. You know what I mean? If you make a new group, then you could go back to 6 again.
That's right. And that's why I said go. I told him, I said, go look at 230.40 exception 2. That's where you're going to pick that up. And I said, what most jurisdictions do at that point is they limit you to have 6 groups there, no more than 36 throws of the hand in one location like that. And he was like, really? I've never heard that. I was like, oh, yeah. Go look on apartment buildings. You'll see it everywhere, especially here in Texas. And I remember that question came up a long, long time ago when I was doing some instruction for over at UTA BPI, which was the Building Professional Institute at the University of Texas at Arlington. I was the moderator there. I'm not doing it anymore, but I was there about 20 years. And they were actually having a problem, and that was brought up to me by, I think it was City of Grand Prairie. I think it's John Minnick that brought it up to me. And I was, oh, yeah, look at this section, everything. And he goes, okay. He wanted to know what I thought of it, because at that time it wasn't even in the code. Then we added it, and that's when it became prevalent and everybody started doing it. You know, it reminded me a long time ago. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was going up there to do a code change course, and they specifically had me there because they wanted to ask me a question. They wanted the code changes, but they were having some problems on a building. It was an old building, and it was solid brick going up. It was about 10 stories, and it was just an old building. They were redoing everything, and they, of course, they couldn't go to, there was no building still, and so they couldn't go to building still to ground the transformers at each room. They couldn't go to cold water pipe. So they were asking me, what are we going to do? And I said, well, and this is before it came in the code. Now you can go over and look at 230.30 and pick up A6. It'll get into that more, where you're coming over, tapping off to a conductor going up. And I said, I would take a 3/0 conductor up there, and I said between the floors, I would take and put you a plate up there, and I'd CAD weld to that, and then you come off of that plate. I said, or just take you a bus up between them. I said, but between each floors, I'd put a copper braid to allow for vibration and stuff and movement, and then put you a plate up there that you could connect off to and come down and put your ground ring all the way around the building. That's what they ended up doing. But at that time, it wasn't even in the code. And and the guy, I forget his name, he was actually on panel 5, and he wasn't sure what to do. God, I have to go back and look what his name was. But they were having problems, and when I gave them suggestions, it was about 2 cycles later that they come in and they added that stuff on being able to do that when you didn't have the 3 choices. Because you remember, we used to have 3 choices. You had building steel, cold water pipe, and a ground ring. You remember that?
Yep.
Then you go up there, you didn't have them choices. What are you going to do? Well, that all come to be because of the separately derived systems that were up on the floors, and they wasn't sure what to do. Well, he took that information I gave him, and that's how 250.30 got written, was because of those suggestions I made. And I'm going to try to mirror his name, see if I can get him on here, where he'll tell you that's exactly how it happened, is because of what he told us. So
yeah, that'd be cool, man. Right on. Well, I won't.
But of course,
hold you
you're
up
marrying them. I don't know anything about installation and code.
Those guys, man. It's funny. It's really hilarious to me.
All right, so we ready for topic of the week, brother?
Yes, sir. Let's roll it.
Cue it up. All right, now I only did like 4 or 5 this week, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we're going to finish this podcast earlier than usual, because I'm going to watch the Cowboy game. Okay,
All
so
right.
everybody wants to be upset. That's fine, but I want to go watch the Cowboy game tonight, and I've been checking the score. They're down 3-0. They just started, so if they lose this game, their season's over, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
What the hell is this? Oh, shoot, I uploaded the wrong one here. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. Let me reload that. God dang it. Go to present and grab the slide.
So you're only doing the 4 code changes?
Yeah, I'm doing like 4 or 5 of them. I can't remember exactly how many I did. But let me look here. Where is topic of the week? There we go. I actually grabbed the wrong thing. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, that was a topic of the week for one of the wallpapers I did for when we break them down, and I have a thumbnail there. That's what that was for. Okay, now I got it back. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Now, as I was saying last week, we got all the way through chapter 6, and this week we're going in to chapter 7. And the first one that we're going to be looking at here is 700.4. And what, I brought this up, this is probably about the 5th, 6th one that we've seen where they're coming in and they're being more specific about how you're going to keep your records. And that's what they did here. They, instead of calling it written record, now they're calling it record keeping. And you still got the exact same, I should have put that in white, but it says a written record shall be kept as such tests and maintenance. That didn't change. This is what they added. And made available to those authorized to design, install, inspect, maintain, and operate the system. Now, you're going to see why that is important. And you'll notice I put an author's comment. Go see 701.4D. You're going to get the exact same information there. So I'm not going to cover this twice. But the main thing that they're pointing out that this written record that you're going to keep here is inclusive of any type of digital records. Okay? So they literally want a written record for anybody that's going to come out there and is authorized to work on this system. Okay? So we're getting into our emergency systems, and they want to make sure that you keep records, and you'll understand why here in a minute. Okay? Now, the next thing that they did here, you're still in the commissioning and maintenance here, and they took out maintenance or repair and just put servicing, so that changed in F. But F8 is where the change. There's 7 more in front of it, and they added 1 more 9, but it ain't no big deal. But they added this, and they want to make sure that anybody that's servicing this installation is aware of this. So they say if you have an installation of portable or temporary power source, it tells you here that it's required to include an overcurrent protection device to provide equivalent protection for the emergency system, and at a minimum shall provide here sufficient power to emergency and other selected loads served. Okay? So right there, that is an important thing because they want to make sure, even though it is portable or temporary, that you have an overcurrent protection device in place that provides the equivalent protection that would be there at the service. Okay? So I think that is a good thing. And then this
I like it.
This is where it ties back into the first one we just looked at, 700.4B. And this is the capacity and rating in it. And they've added this, and you'll know we've added this in other parts also. The emergency system equipment shall be suitable for what? The available fault current at its terminal. Okay? Now, you'll notice we also show you here that this also correlates here with the formatting and everything in 701.4. So this is all tying in. Now you'll ask, why do we need this? Okay. Well, if you remember, and I brought this up on the other ones, is when we're taking and we're looking at the service, okay, what is the most important thing that they've added? Well, they got 110.24, and they talk about having the available fault current there. Now, why do you want the available fault current? This is all going to tie back into when you look at 70E. So if I look at 70E, and it doesn't matter to me if I'm using the tables, which if you go look at 70E and look at the tables, you have 130.50, 130.7, C15, A, B, and C, but A is the main one, and B is for DC. Now, you can look there, or you can also look at Annex D. Now, there's two values you have to have in order to determine if you're using the tables or you're doing the calculation method. You need to know what the available fault current is, short circuit current, whatever you want to call it. But you got to have the available fault current, and you got to have the clearing time of the overcurrent device. Now, if I'm looking at the tables, there's certain parameters that you have to meet in those tables in order to even use the table in the first place. If you don't meet those parameters, then you got to do the calculation that's in Annex D. Okay? And I may do here after we get through all of this and Mark comes on, a little bit later, I may do some stuff on 70E. People seem to like me doing that and explaining how the 70E document's actually used. But this here is why we need the available fault current. Because, when we did those tables at first, one of the things that the contractors and engineers, everybody was having problem with is getting the available fault current to know what it is from who? The utilities. So we put that in the code. Now the utilities have to give it to us, and then we require you to put it on the equipment so you know what that available fault current is, and therefore it's suitable for the current that's at where? It's terminals. Okay? But that's why it happened.
I especially like you explaining it when I get a video made with my pictures and I'm working in an electrically unsafe work condition when I know that gate was chained out and it was an electrically safe work condition.
Well, that just, they're just trying to look for something, and I remember when that happened, and was it Ryan was casing on you or whatever, and then he gets in the argument, he says, well, you got to be such and such distance based on, I think at that, and was it 110.26A1 or was it 130?
Yeah.
I don't remember which one he was looking at, and I came on and I said, no, you don't. I said, that's working distance. That has nothing to do with the arc flash boundary. I said, I don't even know where you got that from. But that was somebody speaking on 70E that really didn't know 70.
Yeah, the whole reason why I wanted to have that 5 foot of PVC was to show how far back the actual energized terminals are. You could barely see a couple foot of that PVC conduit, and I measured that thing 5 foot, just to kind of see how far back those live lugs were. They were about middle of that gear,
Sure, so, and let me explain something on that too. So anybody watching this, and I'm sure some of y'all probably want me to do a 70 to explain all this, but you're going back into an enclosure. Well, one of the things they typically do is, if you look at the tables, you have a typical distance of 18 inches away. In other words, that's probably your arm's length where you're reaching to do any type of work. That's where the 18-inch distance is picked up for your working distance, okay?
Nice.
But the distance can be further, but it won't be in the tables unless it's a certain type of installation. If you got a further working distance, more than likely you're going to have to calculate it over an Annex D. But then what you got to do, you got to go in and look what is the enclosure area it's going back into. And if you don't meet that enclosure area, if it's bigger than the enclosure area that we have there, then you can just normally calculate it. But if it's within those parameters, now that becomes actually hotter in there and it calculates different. And I'll go through all that one day and show everybody. But that's somebody that's been on the 70E committee when it first started and knows why we did what we did. So But those are good questions there, and a lot of people ask those questions. I get them all the time, and
Yeah.
fortunately for me, I've only taught the class about a couple hundred times, so I'm pretty versed on it. Now,
Right.
this one here, what they did, uh, they basically everything that's in red up there at the top is moved down to A, basically. Okay.
Okay.
And this is dealing with luminaires with control inputs that provide emergency illumination. Now, the reason that they had to do this, because this could have been subject to misinterpretation. And if you look at the way it was worded before, it's because it could have covered a single device. Okay.
Right.
And you can actually have two different listing requirements on this. And that's depending on, of course, the application of the luminaire with control inputs. All right. So
Right.
all they did here is they changed a little terminology. They now have DCEL, which is directly controlled emergency luminaires. And then you've got DCL, which is just a directly controlled luminaire. Okay. So they're both two different. One's for emergency illumination, and the other one is where you have emergency illumination, but it's provided by one or more. You see that? And
Oh yeah.
that's what they want you to be aware of when you're looking at this. So that's going to be a pretty good change, and we're actually I will have that the new devices, what they look like when we come out with a new code change publication.
Nice.
So, and
Right
and
on.
I'll tell you, we got some really, really good ones that are popping up. Matter of fact, let me see. I might be able to do this. Let me look here. I think I can do this. Yeah, I think I can. I want to show everybody what you're going to get to see here pretty soon. And I'm halfway through it right now, and we've made major changes on this. Let's see, right there. Okay, these are some of the illustrations I'm drawing right now. But to give everybody an idea, this is where we're doing our seals and all of that, where you're entering enclosures. You'll see here we've got the new equipment where I've even drawn the new switches that like you would see out in the field. It even has the information on it. We got explosion proof motors that are factory sealed. This is what it would look like if you're out, or one of the types. And then you can just go through and see we've redone the boxes and everything. Like the one that's on the bottom left right there, that is one that is a threaded type. Okay. So we just go through. These are your different type of receptacles. You'll see one on the left is a regular hazardous location receptacle. The one on the right is the one that's switched, and it's got a switch up there at the top. You go back and forth. And this one here is where we're showing where you have your vats and stuff. We've actually gone through. This is what you would see out in an industrial facility where they have a mixture where they're dipping down and in. They got a traveling arm that goes up and down those steel columns there. And they got them now. They used to set on the ground, but the newer ones they're doing, they actually are mounted where they're up off the ground on a platform. Okay.
Yeah, that looks like easier to clean.
Yeah. And then we show different types of hazardous location appliances here. We also got one. This is one that you would see out in the field that has a heater surface. We go through and explain all that for your utilization equipment. You'll see we got your different type of hazardous location lamps. We actually drew those. And we also show the one where you have your different types of portable lighting that you use in hazardous locations. I mean, we've really put a lot of time and effort into a lot of these. And then this is a very detailed. This gets into where we show the different type of gas detectors. We actually drew here, show them where you have a combustible gas detection system, control panel module, and actually at the bottom of those are actually all connectors to go to everything. and then we show your different type of hazardous location valves. I mean, you just go through this. I mean, it is really in depth on the thing. Like this one here, this is actually pretty interesting because this is where you get in to equipment that's oil immersed. This is what it actually looks like. You have a piping system that's here, and then they come on the end of these piping systems, and then you've got your panel and everything that's out here, and this gets mounted and it goes inside these piping systems and heats these pipes up and stuff. And this is where you get into these hermetically sealed equipment with this oil immersed equipment.
Wow.
So
yeah,
and this here, this is really good because this is actually showing you the type of equipment and how it comes into the panel and stuff. And this is for your purge and pressurized equipment, and showing it being used with non-incentive equipment, and then showing your valves and stuff that are set up down on the pipeline that's down through there. Then we also show you a device here where you get into your non-intrinsic or your intrinsically safe equipment, but we show you the side that's intrinsically safe, and then we show you exactly what the device looks like, and then when you get past that device, which side, how it's set up to be non-intrinsically. Okay?
Yeah.
So
I really like that. I learned a lot when your dad did that class on that.
yeah, and when you look at this, you can just see we put a lot of time in there, and there's more stuff I'm still having to draw. But the main thing is when you come in and you look at these things, you can see we've actually put a lot of time. Like here, we drew this vessel system right here and then show them where it goes out. You could have a leaking valve and it leaks up to where the fixture is and everything. I mean, all of these are important things.
Got old Lemonhead. Got Lemonhead up in there.
And here we're showing you where you have a cotton gin and equipment. We show you the type of trailers. These are exactly how they look when they're loading those things up. And you just go through. We drew this. This is showing where you're cutting wood and stuff, and you're getting dust clouds in the air and everything. I mean, you just go through and you look at this, and I tell people you're not going to see where somebody's actually come in and put this much detail into their illustrations. So,
dude, I'm telling you, I really like my 2023 code change book, man. It, like I say, so far I only stumped you on a couple, but you know, I'll go through those questions. I'll get a couple more. I think you were saying Pops wrote those questions too, right?
Yeah, he wrote them on the last one. I was doing some other things, and he actually did the edit on the book. I wrote the book and went through, got all the information. Then he did the illustrations, and then Billy come back and laid it out, got the illustrations done. Then he did the questions and the edit. I didn't look at it after that because I was updating the journeyman and the masters and the generator, transformer, motor book. So,
well, you're going down next week, so maybe not this week. This week's easy, but next week I'm gonna find a hard one.
I'm ready. All right, you ready for your tool, brother?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by Electricians Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
All right. Well, we have an awesome tool review for you. I did this review like a long time ago, but this is one of my favorite tapes out there. I usually like to use the 25 foot. You notice it has the magnet. I like that magnetic tip. Stanley Fatmax is the strongest proven magnet. We've done tug of wars with the Milwaukee's, and the Stanley always wins. But the thing I really like about this is it's like 25 foot's about perfect. Like 20 foot's just a little short. You can't really measure a lot. If you have that 25 footer, you could get a nice span. And, you know, if you have to do like 100, 150 or whatever, you could do them 25 footers. Works out pretty nice. I really do like the durability of the Stanley. There is one little weakness that has kind of, you know, come up in years past, that the magnet breaks off at times. Oh, welcome in, Ann. Good to see you, Ann. What's up? That's the one weakness that I've noticed. These are a really durable tape measure. Like I say, I drop mine probably 10 foot regularly, and it never broke. I actually still own my Stanley Fatmax. Like, they almost always either get stolen or lost before I break them. But I did a review on the Milwaukee version with the light in it, and that's my current one that I'm using. But like I say, if that Milwaukee one breaks, I'm going to go back and get me a Stanley Fatmax magnetic 25 footer.
Yeah, all my tape measures I've always bought were Stanley. I think Stanley makes the best. I've always thought that.
Yeah, real
Stanley
durable.
makes a hell of a... I don't care about the other tools, but I damn sure like their tape measure.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, and the Milwaukee ones, yeah, they, absolutely, Daniel.
I can't comment on any Milwaukee tape measure. I've only used Stanley. I can just tell you, I've never used one.
I got lucky the last Fatmax that I got. The magnet stayed on there real good the whole time, and I can't remember what happened. I think I ended up like losing it or something, left it at a job site or something. But now I have the Milwaukee, and the magnet works good, but it's not going to win a tug of war good.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's throw down question of the week, then we'll get into Willie Quiz. We're right at getting close to 8 o'clock, and let's see what you got for me this week.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see. According to National Electrical Code, certain inside a building are permitted to pass through the interior. It never is. That's easy. It's never allowed. Not under any circumstance or conditions I'm aware of. E. True. And I think it's 230 point. Let's see, you got 230.3. Yep,
you got it. Oh, and just right in time for Adam to jump in the house. What's up, Adam?
What's up, boys?
Dude, I appreciate those thumbnails. I'm gonna use them for my podcast. Page. I'm gonna go in there and I got Facebook jail, so like I can't do nothing on my pages. One of my we had these meme groups, and the memes were like the last they were like the Wild West of getting away with stuff. We got Gypsy jumping in. What's up?
Gypsy in the house. I think he's watching the game right now. Is it Cowboys right now?
On the screen.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why we're going to finish up early tonight.
Oh, dude. You got the jersey on. Look at there, brother.
After the podcast over, ain't no talking, Bill. I'm going to say, hey, I enjoyed the podcast. I'll talk to you later. I ain't going to be talking on the podcast.
All right. That's cool. Well, like I say, this Willie Quiz is really easy, so I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it.
They're always easy.
It's easy. Go. Everyone's going to get 100%. So.
I went 5 for 5 last week, guys.
Dude, he crushed it on the Bible, Adam. You missed it. I did the Bible because I thought you might have popped on. And then I get off, and you're over at Caesar's stream. So I was like, oh, I see how you are. All right. But it's all good.
Next time.
We appreciate you guys joining. Thanks so much for showing up. It's a lot of fun.
Pleasure. My pleasure. Our pleasure.
All right, let me cue you up, brother.
Got it. Like Adams actually like fell over in his chair before doing it. It's so awesome.
It's a big one here, so we can see the damn.
All right, welcome everyone. Willie Quiz. In Winnipeg, it's illegal to do what in public places like parks? Is it A, feed squirrels? Is it B, sing loudly at night? Is it C, stand on a bench? Is it D, ride a bicycle without a bell? Or E, build a snowman? Good luck,
man.
everyone.
Oh man.
See, I told you it was easy.
I think you actually had asked this a long time ago. I think it was. I think it's D. I'm gonna go D.
Ride a bicycle without a bell.
I'm gonna go. My guess is either gonna be. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna take my chances and go with feeding a squirrel.
Feeding a squirrel. Daniel J is going with C.
Stand on a
Did
bench.
that say C? Is that what it
Yep.
All
Question mark. C question mark.
Oh man, you guys. Oh man, I
Where
knew.
you going
I
at,
thought-
Gypsy?
I think he got disconnected.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I might have.
He's in there.
Oh,
Are you here? Are you here, bro?
Oh,
there
darn
he
it.
What do you got, Gypsy?
All right. I think we're good. Yeah.
Oh, Caesar's going D.
Oh, he went with me. All right.
All right.
Texas connection.
The correct answer is C. Stand on benches. Daniel gets the first one out of the gate. I guess they had problems with people like messing up the benches or something in parks, so they actually made it a law in Winnipeg.
Huh.
So,
I stand on benches all the time. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I guess don't get the cops checking you out while you're doing it, but
Yeah.
I guess they must have been like getting footprints all over everything, and they said they made a law about it. But
Very interesting. I learned something today about my own city. Thank you.
all right, so question number 2: in Denver, what unusual item is banned from being owned in Denver? Is it A?
There, Bill. Looks like
I
Bill
think I
got
lost power.
it. Okay, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
We got you. Can you hear us?
All right, yeah, I'm back. That was weird.
Okay.
So is it C, pet fish, pet goldfish? What is going on? I'm like, I keep cutting out. Is it E, pet snakes? Good luck, everyone.
Well, this is interesting because I was thinking about this, and I was thinking at first, I think y'all did have a big thing that was going on at one time about pit bulls, the dogs, and being banned. Is that true? For some reason, I sort of remember.
Yep.
I will go with, for this one, I'm going to go with C.
Ferrets, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, looking at this, I'm thinking it'd be rats. I don't think you could have a rat. I think all them others would be okay to have. I'm gonna go with A.
All right. We lost Caesar. I don't know. It's kind of cutting out for me too. I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Yeah, it could be internet. Yeah.
But the correct answer is actually D, pet goldfish.
Really?
So they actually limit you from having a certain amount, a limit of pet goldfish, because they're worried about them getting into the water supply and like affecting the local fish. So they only allow you to have a certain number of goldfish. So I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Damn, I hadn't got one right yet. This sucks. Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm getting better. All right. In Winnipeg, which of the following is forbidden in public streets? I probably wrote that wrong. A, sprinkling salt on sidewalks. B, having a snowball fight. C, washing your car. D, dancing in the snow. Or E, using a snow machine on the street. Good luck, everyone.
Huh.
All right. So Anne is going A, sprinkling salt on the sidewalk.
Interesting.
That could be. They could have a problem with that.
I think with this one.
Ooh, DJ's going no snowmobiles. Interesting.
He went with C, washing your car.
Yeah,
Oh, did he? Oh, I thought he said E. That was my bad.
Yeah, I think on this one I'm gonna go with washing your car as well.
Yeah, I was thinking in a public street.
Yeah.
Because that's not your driveway.
Yeah, I mean, like.
You just can't.
Yeah, sorry, Cesar. I'm having issues myself. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with C also. Yeah. I think that's the one that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it looks like everyone's copying everybody, and the correct answer is B, having a snowball fight. So I guess you can't have a snowball fight up there in Winnipeg.
That's a stupid ass law.
Yeah.
We're known to have a lot of snow, so we had to have a little bit of fun.
That's a stupid law. I don't care.
So far, Daniel's the only one with the correct answer, with one correct. So question number 4.
Damn.
In Denver, what type of furniture is illegal to place on your porch in Denver? Is it A, bar stools? Is it B, sofas? Is it C, hammocks? Is it D, beanbag chairs? Or is it E, jack-o'-lanterns with lit candle? I know that's not furniture, but could be considered that. Good luck, everyone. Oh, Caesar's going for the jack-o'-lantern. That's a good one, bro.
I was going to take a sofa myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna go with B as well. Sofas. Yeah.
And I think it's B, a sofa.
Oh,
Oh,
Daniel goes B. And you all three are correct. So
Yay.
Daniel goes to 2-0, 2-2. Yeah, it actually was a sofa for like fire reasons. But I'm glad that Cesar chose my jack o' lantern one because that could be coming up. That's probably their next one.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Question number 5: in Winnipeg, what odd law affects people who own a house in Winnipeg? Is it A, they must repaint their house every 5 years? Is it B, they can't build fences higher than 6 foot? Is it C, they must clear snow off the sidewalks before 9 a.m.? Is it D, they can't hang holiday decorations during the winter months? Or is it E, they are not permitted to place hockey emblems on their mailbox? Good luck, everyone. Alright, looks like we have some B's coming in. I don't know why I do the B answer so much. Everyone guesses B a lot.
That is interesting. I can, I've known some jurisdictions that actually you can't have your fence higher than 6 foot. That's here in the state.
Right.
But
I don't see how they can make you repaint your house every
Yeah,
5 years.
I've never. I lived in a house more than 5 years and we didn't repaint it, so I think it's safe to say that's off the option there.
I know it may sound weird, but being that hockey is such a big thing up in Canada, it makes me want to say E because I could see people doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with C. They must clear snow off their sidewalks. That's the only one. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with E. I'm gonna be an outlier here. I just B makes sense to me also, but I just don't think that's it. I don't know why, because I don't think that's an odd law.
Yeah, I'll go with C because I know in the winter the sidewalks could be fairly slippery, and I know for like mail deliverers and whatnot, like they can slip and fall. So I'll go with C. Must clear the snow off their sidewalks.
Okay.
All right. Well, good news, Adam. You got it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
nailed it, and you go to 2 correct with Daniel. So King James is lagging this week.
I call bullshit on these questions.
I'll be honest. Oh man, I come with the save there.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got you this week, King James. So I was just trying to knock down that yearly average. You're so up there, so high. You had so many 5 and 5s. So
That's the first week I've done bad on. I got 1 of 5. That sucks.
Yep.
But nobody did much better. Got me by 1. I ain't gonna complain.
Yeah.
That's like me going 4 or 5 and y'all getting 5 of 5.
Oh, it's all good. It's a lot of fun. You want to finish this up with the Wall of Shame real quick?
Yep. Let me cue it.
Shame. 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 Shame.
All right. Not understanding what's wrong with my signal, but I'm not got camera right now. I was doing some research for my myth of the week, and I came across this, and it said installing conduits outdoors, and then I started looking at that, and there's not an outdoor rated fitting in that picture.
Yeah.
So.
And what's funny about that, they're telling you how to do it, but you're not supposed to do it.
I know. It was ultimate wall of shame. Like when I saw it right away, I was like, "Oh, this is going to wall of shame. This might almost be the cover for wall of shame."
It almost have to be. I mean, they're this is like they're doing a PowerPoint presentation with a slide up here saying, "Here's how you install conduits outdoors," and you got flex literally going into a coupling, which isn't allowed. And then you've got fittings that are not permitted. Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, Daniel, I knew you'd like that one, man. It was so funny.
Well, hey,
it looked
Daniel,
like they just took that flex and just stuffed it in there and jammed it in with the set screw or something.
I've got one for you, Daniel. You can actually take and use that flex right out there, and you could come out of the disconnect and go straight to an AC unit. And the AC unit where you're going to make the terminations don't have to be listed for a wet location.
True.
That's what they're trying to tell me. And I told them they're full of crap.
Oh, dude, we got Cam. What's up, Cameron? Oh, running a little late, brother.
Yeah, you're running late today, brother.
Yeah, I was doing something.
No, it was awesome. I played you in fantasy last week. Dude, you had a player that didn't start or else you would have probably beat me.
Yeah, because the league for Rhino for me is not working, so I couldn't play.
Oh,
that sucks. But yeah, I'm actually doing fantasy hockey this year, so.
Yeah, we should create a league for me and Adam Cesar.
Yeah, did you look into it, Adam, at all?
Yeah. So I got like the application downloaded here. Yeah, it's gonna take a few seconds to load, but I got it right here.
Okay.
And then yeah, if that's how it works, you could create your own leagues, and we all join the same league. Or if you guys have one created already, I would just like join your guys's for sure.
Yeah, so you would probably have to create the league because usually the way I do it, I just join whatever league is like a public league.
Oh, I see.
It sucks that my camera's out because I'm going to be doing my pickle shot now. So, pickle shot to you, Adam,
Thank you.
for creating the league and get me in there. Dude, almost like drafting the players is kind of like the funnest part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because you're trying to get like the best players and seeing who's still out there. Like, dude, I was like, what? Casey Middlestat's still out there and nobody picked him yet? It was like round like 16 or something like that. I was like, wow, Casey Middlestat's a stud.
you know why your camera's out, don't you?
Because I'm in Facebook jail.
No. I put a hex on it because I want to go watch the Cowboy game.
All right.
If you probably try to disconnect and reconnect your like camera, if it's connected to your laptop, if you try to disconnect or reconnect, maybe that might help.
Yeah. I'm not really sure, but like I'm in Facebook jail, so you know, it's kind of frustrating like the police got me this time, but it's been years like since I was arguing with the Union boys since I've been in Facebook jail.
Well, look at the bright side. You'll have Jerry and then come on. When you don't respond, they'll just call you a freaking coward over and over and over, even though you're in jail.
Dude,
I'm telling you, Adam, we got way more trolls than you got.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm sure, but
dude,
yeah.
We're like a troll vacuum, man. Like, it's cool.
Hell, we're famous on Facebook now.
Oh, yeah.
For our trolls.
Yeah, they seek us out.
Oh, boy.
But no, I really appreciate King James for putting this together. Thanks, Adam, for showing up. Thanks, Cameron, for popping in. Thanks, Cesar, appreciate it. Thanks, Daniel J, popping in. Always love playing the Jaws theme every time Daniel shows up. And, like I say, I always have fun doing these. And I'm done for the night if you want to go watch the game. Uh-oh.
Well, he won, so I got to let his thing play.
Oh, yeah. And then I made a new rule.
Y'all gonna have to send me y'all's things. Anytime y'all beat me, I'll play it for y'all.
There you go.
I'm gonna play mine. It just says, "King James, you're the best. King James, you're the best."
There you go. So, just so you know, Adam, I made a new rule where if the guests tie with King James, they automatically win. So basically,
That's
he has
bullshit.
he has to win by 1 to actually win. So I'm making rules. I'm trying to make it to where he gets a little cocky, So I'm just trying to even the playing field. But I really appreciate it, and I'll let you get going watching the Cowboys, brother.
Hell yeah.
And as always, remember, make every day an easy day.
All right,
I'm out.
everybody have a good weekend.
Take care, guys.
And don't,
Hey.
man, got a good game this week. Got Georgia and Alabama. I'm looking forward to that. So, and I also heard Georgia's going to be wearing some pretty pathetic looking uniforms from a tweet I saw. So if they're wearing those, I'm going to have a picture of that when we come on the podcast Monday. So, all right,
All right.
everybody have a good week.
Take care,
All right.
guys.
Deuces.